Alright, hey guys, we're going to be going over how to mod jailbreak your Nintendo Switch. So, this is going to be for the non-mod chip way, the easiest way. The most free way would be using the microSD card, making sure your Switch is not patched. So the first things you want to do is you want to get your serial number, which you can find in the back of your or actually, let me see. Yeah, in the bottom of your Switch, type in that code, whatever it is, into here, and this will tell you if it's patched or not. If it says maybe, you run the risk of breaking your Switch or not. Or I'm sorry, not breaking, but it might not work. So, you know, but if you have a green check, you're good to go. So first things that we want to do is you want to have a microSD card. Usually, you know, your Switch comes with one, and you're going to need a microSD adapter, some sort of something like this. Doesn't have to be specifically this one. I'll leave a link to this, but just, you know, any sort of like SD adapter or USB adapter that you can use to plug into your computer, if your computer doesn't have a microSD slot anyways built in. Something else you're going to need is an RCM jig. Technically you don't need an RCM jig. You can do it with like a bit of tinfoil, a paper clip, but you know, if you're not mechanically inclined like me, then just use an RCM jig. They're very cheap. So is the adapters. So once you have all that, we're going to go ahead and I'll leave links to all these links in the description. There's a custom firmware called Atmosphere. You're going to want to download that. This is going to be where we can, you know, boot into our modded Switch. Go ahead and download this foozy.bin and this zip file. Save that in your downloads somewhere. We're also going to need to download Hecate, which is a bootloader that's going to load Atmosphere. Download whatever the latest version is. You know, go down here, download this zip file, and finally, we're going to need a program that we're going to use to actually boot Hecate, because we're going to have to plug in our Switch into our computer. Which, by the way, that reminds me, you need a USB-C to USB-C or USB-A, whatever. Just something that can plug in from your Switch to your computer and make sure it can do data transfer. So, yeah, go ahead and download the installer or the portable. Portable doesn't matter. And install this application. You should be able to search for it in here, Tegra RCM GUI. So what we're going to do now is go ahead and plug in your microSD card into your computer, and as you can see, I've got it here. I've already got some files in here. You should have a Nintendo folder. You can go ahead and back that up if you want to. But now let's go through our downloads. What you're going to want to do is go inside of your Atmosphere zip folder, copy all of these files into the root of your microSD card, and then in the Hecate folder, you're going to want to, again, copy these onto the root of your microSD card, and then what you're going to want to do is take this Hecate .bin and actually drag that somewhere on your computer, maybe on your desktop. I've got it right here because we're going to use that later. And then what you're going to want to do is in here, and also download this foozy.bin, which should also be in the Atmosphere. Yeah, the zip file in the foozy.bin. This foozy.bin, you're going to want to drag into the bootloader and payloads file. So your microSD card, go into bootloader and payloads is foozy.bin. Drag the one you just downloaded into there. And then that's all for setting up our microSD card. Now we're going to go to the switch, and I'm going to switch over to outside of my computer here. Okay, so take a look at this setup here. We've got our switch. You want to take off the right rail Joy-Con, and you want to slide your RCM jig from here all the way down until it's snug up against the bottom there. Make sure your switch is off. Make sure that you've plugged in your microSD card in the back. And then what we're going to do is you're going to press the power and the volume up button like this, and let go. If nothing happens, that's a good sign. Now what we're going to do is take your USB-C cable and plug that into your switch. Okay, and now you're going to want to open the program, Tegra RCM GUI, start that up, go to settings, install driver. For you, this button will be active. You only have to do this once, install the driver. Go to payload, you're going to select this button. You're going to go to wherever you saved your hecate.bin. You're going to press open, and at this point it should say RCM device detected. If it doesn't say that, try to redo the setup down here. Make sure it's off. Make sure that when you are booting it up with the volume and the power button, it doesn't go into, you know, like a regular boot up. It shouldn't say do anything. You're going to press inject. And if you see this, then you've done it successfully. So one of the first things that I will recommend is going into MUMMC, create an MUMMC, which is going to allow you to back up your NAND. I really recommend doing this. And another thing we can do is now we're going to go into payloads, and this foozy.bin, this is the actual custom firmware that we're going to boot into. Okay, so now we're booted into this. At this point, you can take off your, you can take out your RCM jig and re-put in your rail, your Joy-Con. Sorry. Okay, so now you should see tinfoil. You know, and just to make sure that we're in the custom firmware, we can go to settings, we can go down to system, and it should say AMS and an E. That is our custom firmware. So let me know if you want a video on what you can do with a modded switch, and but yeah, that's it for now.